So we're back again. Hi, everyone.
Here we
Hello and
are.
welcome. Welcome to Magical Witchy World TV, and I am Starr Ravenhawk.
And I am Rhonda Alin. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome to this week's show.
Yes, and tonight we are proud to welcome Draven Ashly to the Magical Witchy World TV.
And before we introduce Draven, one quick thing to show you.
All right. Hi, Draven Ashly. Okay, so this is Raven Ashly Cruz, the American pagan songstress. She's a Celtic witch with second-degree Cabot and a graduate of Carnegie Mellon University's prestigious musical theater drama department. She has been singing professionally for 42 years all over the world. Her one-of-a-kind witchy rock show is hypnotic and supercharged as she belts out magical songs performed cabaret style from her 3 rock albums, The West 7-inch and The Raven, that she has written and produced with her pagan band Cruz Machine. Draven Ashly has been a featured pagan performer at the New York City Witches Masquerade Halloween Ball 2019. I remember that. WitchFest USA 2020 and 2021. The Poconos Witches Ball 2020, and the Pittsburgh Witches Ball 2021. Recently, she traveled to England and collaborated with Susan Marie Paramore on her latest single, Dragon Moon, which can be viewed as a music video on her YouTube channel, Cruz Machine. Currently, she is completing her 4th pagan album, The Awakening, about the rebirth of witchcraft and a tribute to its elders. This album will also include Raven Evermore, a tribute to the late Raven Gramercy, and Blessed Be, a tribute for the New York City Witch Bride Parade and Lady Rhea Rivera, High Priestess of the New York City Coven of Witches of New York.
Again, welcome, Draven Ashly. We are so excited to have you here tonight. So before we begin our interview with you, we start with presenting one of your first songs here tonight, and that is At the Witches Ball.
Yay!
I'm ready. At the Witches Ball, I dance with Hecate at the Witches Ball. The dead come out to play at the Witches Ball. You gotta shake them bones at the Witches Ball. Feel like a sexy crow. sexy crow.
That is
That was
fabulous.
wonderful. That is
Love
so
it.
great. That was so great. So I wanted to ask you, who did you collaborate with and how was that experience?
Oh, watching it now is just going down memory lane. It was beautiful. I actually, I mean, first I was just to say that I was inspired by, your Witches Ball, Starr. That was the very
Oh,
first
right.
time I met you. It was Samhain 2019, right before COVID. I knew nobody. I only knew you because I met you at WitchFest and I got to perform there. And I went there with my partner Ernie, who helped do my sound. And I met the most amazing priestesses and priests and magical people, and all those people that I met that night. It was like they're part of my life now. They're part of my community, which is the beauty of us getting together when we can like that. And collaborating with them. I mean, first off, I have like the best videographer, Megan Lang. Her and I have been working together for 7 years. She's
Wow.
on all my videos. She's a young girl who's just very, very talented. And the music is my partner Ernie. He does the drums, so he does all the sexy drums and all my I call it sexy tribal drums and all my songs. And this song, if you really listen to it, it's a lot like Sweet, Ballroom Blitz. We were trying to
Yes.
kind of get that feel, so it's
Right,
fun.
right.
And then, of course, I have an amazing costume designer. She's part of my team who does the costumes. It's Harper De La Piana, and she's from Rhode Island. She has a beautiful Seams Couture boutique, and she designs witchy rock costumes for me. And
Oh,
we've been
wow.
together for 7 years too. Lucky seven.
Yeah.
Yes.
But also since COVID, this video was done during COVID. I actually I had a vision of doing a witch's ball that with a song that would bring different friends of mine, magical friends together in this video. But how could I do it with COVID? So I asked them all to dress up and get in front of their altars or whatever their sacred space or fun was. Like they were going to the ball, the Samhain ball in New York City, like get ready. So they all did it. It was great. I had
Very
Susan
nice.
Marie Paramore in England. She was out in a park with her costume doing it for me. Alexander, of course,
Yeah.
Alexander Cabot in front of his altar. And then there was Leslie and Jeff. So Lady Leslie Cabot Armstrong and Lord Jeff Sutton, Cabot Sutton, they from Canada, they filmed in front of their altar and it was just so much fun. And then of course my dancer was Kathleen. She was the beautiful, I call her my shadow of like a Hecate shadow. So when I
Mhm.
was doing all the Hecate stuff, she was like my shadow. And I was trying with this video, just, that you guys know that witches, I mean, especially crones, we can be sexy. We love to be sexy, especially at witches' balls. You guys showed me that, when I went to that one in New York, I was like, I got so inspired. I didn't sleep that night when I got back to my hotel because I came all the way from Connecticut. And I wrote
Right.
on a piece of paper, at the witches' ball, I danced with Hecate. And then, yep, that many years later, the song came together with the video. So thank you, Starr, for that
Oh, you're
opportunity.
welcome. Thank you,
That
and
is
thank you for coming to Witches Ball back in 2019. And
Mhm.
I did have to admit, right, Rhonda, that we saw some faces that we were like, oh, I know that person, and I know that person, and I was like, there's a lot of
fabulous.
familiar faces there, right?
It's fabulous. And you actually tapped into something I was going to ask, which is aside from, and you've mentioned already many of the people you've collaborated with, but then
Yes.
also how the song came to you. And
Yeah,
that's a beautiful story. And the fact that so you literally were that inspired, that that to me is something that I just want to draw out a little bit more. How long did it take you to actually write the song?
Well, 2019, and then it finally came out in 2022. So yeah, but this album that I did is like 3 years. Like all the songs
Wow.
kind of came together in 3 years.
wow.
But
Wow.
sometimes songs do that. You write things down. Like I wrote that down on a piece of paper, And it was interesting. I was writing some other music, and that song came first. Like everything, the musicians came together, everything came together. I was like, we're doing this. And then it all starts to become very easy. But yeah, all the words in that song, if you really listen to it, Starr, it's everything that we do at your Samhain at the Witches Ball there.
Oh, look at that.
That is
That's
awesome.
awesome. Yeah.
Everybody's
That
in
is
there.
really nice to hear.
It's a beautiful
That
start.
was really nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to another song that
Yes.
you have that's come out, and that is Dragon Moon.
Mm.
Yay.
The still does fall, and the call of the dragon pervades all your dreams. Step by take on the ancient man. Each breath I draw heals my heart and mind. I reach to the sky, hear the oak leaves sing. What taste of Avalon this apple brings. Oh, dragon moon. River rose I hold in my palm so tight. Visions dance in the candle and the firelight. And the dark and light walk her sides. Tears of Avalon fill my mage's eyes. Whoa, dragon moon. Whoa, dragon moon. Lighting forth with swans on the summer sea. Lunar goddess and the dragon follow me. The veil thins and the gates make way. Holy Isle of Avalon, I'm on my way. Whoa, dragon moon. Whoa, dragon
That's
Wow.
wonderful. That's really
That is such a
wonderful.
powerful piece.
Yeah,
Love
yeah.
that.
And I recognize someone there too myself. I recognize Susan Marie. That's awesome.
Yeah. She was amazing to work with.
Yeah.
So where
Okay,
was this
Rhonda.
music video filmed?
We filmed it in the part of it in Salisbury, England, and then uh, there's little bits and pieces of me back in my own sacred space at home to finish up the video. But most of it, the majority, was done in England. It was an amazing. I love England. I love England, and the experience of Sean Rice was our videographer, and as you know, Susan Marie Paramore is the high priestess of Stonehenge. She's also a pagan international singer like myself, and she's a druid and a bard, and she's so talented and spiritual. Just to work with her and collaborate with her was an honor, and I'm really glad I met her through Alexander. So. But we had this instant connection.
Very nice. Very nice. I was looking at that. I'm going, oh, how beautiful the landscape is and all of it and everything. I'm like, I recognized England. England. I love England. Okay. So it was nice, right? England is just absolutely beautiful. Yeah.
Yes, yes. I went in January when we did that. January.
Wow. It's cold there at that time.
No, actually, there was a fluke of weather and there was no rain. That 2 weeks I was there, and it was 50 degrees during the day. So we were lucky. But for this video, we had to get up at 7 in the morning because the fog, as we call it, the dragon's breath, had to be perfect. So we had to have the perfect shots. And walking in those fields, it looks beautiful, but it is hard as heck.
Yeah.
Well, it looks good. It looks good.
we were challenged.
But you accomplished. It looks good.
All right. So for now, we wanted to kind of get to know a little bit more about who you are and what or how do you refer to yourself in general, you know?
I go by Draven Ashly. That's my magical name. I actually am a Celtic witch. I'm a second degree Cabot. I also, I'm a pagan singer songwriter. And, my magical name, people always ask me about, like, oh, well, what does it mean? And actually, if you look it up in Scottish, in Scotland, it means child of the dark and light waters. And I do feel that that is my essence of, I am very dark and light, extreme. And I, like most witches, we work on balance a lot to, exist, but the balance is so important all the time. And the D of my name is actually for the dragon, and the R's with the raven for my dedication to the Morrigan. So other thing is that most important is that I consider myself to be a weaver. I do weave music through spells and so forth, and that has become a very prominent part of my life. And I'm actually pretty excited. I'm going to be teaching a class in England this year. So,
oh, wow.
Fabulous.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
We'll have to talk about that. Well, you mentioned that you are a weaver. We understand you're a witch. Well, how, in your mind, in your point of view, what does it mean to be a witch?
I always said that, for me, I learned that a witch is someone who makes needed change. It's that simple for me. But at the same time, I know that I was born with a gift, and that gift for me is part of channeling spiritual energy. A lot of us can do that. And I do that every day. Every part of my life is channeling and connecting to the earth, connecting to different spiritual energies, to the cosmos, to animals, to whatever it is. It's a big part of me. And the beautiful thing that I use with the channeling is to help heal. So, I sing every day at assisted living and senior places, and I use my music to help heal people that are suffering. It's an everyday part of my life. And at the same time, when you're in that world of suffering, a lot of people have lost people. They're very sad. And I use a lot of my energy as a psychopomp sometimes to kind of help them to talk with their lost ones, or whoever that they want to connect with. It just kind of comes. It's really beautiful, because when you work your magic and you continue to, and being a witch is a lot of work. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. Well
I
said.
am blessed to have wonderful teachers in my life and high priestesses and priests that have guided me on my path. But it is a lot of work. And the most beautiful thing is that we just keep learning all the time, as long as we stay teachable.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's so important. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I absolutely believe in that one about not ever stopping learning, because we don't know everything and we're always learning. I think that's who we are as witches. We have to keep learning and keep,
Mhm.
invigorating that whole thing and energies. So that's
Absolutely.
really wonderful. I want you to kind of think back on, what's one of the highlight events that you got to participate in?
Well, I have to say my favorite event by far is WitchFest in New York
Oh,
City.
okay.
We
All
do it
right.
at Astor Place. I'm not kidding. I have to say that every time I go there and perform live with the community that we have, and a lot of people from New York that have never
Yeah.
experienced, seeing a witch perform, and all the wonderful vendors we have and so forth. So it's like their first time there. But every time I've had an incredible experience there. And I love that you have made this into an event to help people, those in need. So I have a purpose there, not just to enjoy the community and enjoy the people from New
Right.
York, but also to do something that is helpful to
Right.
the world.
Right.
And I'm so grateful for that, Starr. I really am. But my little quick story is when I do New York, New York, which I always finish my set with, everybody starts dancing. And this year, a little girl came up. She's a little Puerto Rican girl with little pink pigtails. She was 4 years old. And her mom brings her up. And I didn't see until she got close to me. She had a tube with an oxygen tank, and she
Mm.
Oh,
couldn't
wow.
breathe. And she came over to me and she sang and danced. And when I hit the big note at the end, I got down. Now, when I get down, I can't get up. But I was like,
Oh my
that's it.
gosh.
I have to do it for this little girl. And she finished the
Oh.
That is
song.
so important.
Everybody cried and loved it. And, that was my purpose that day, just
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah.
All dressing up. And that was nothing compared to having that moment with that little girl. So thank
Wow.
you.
That's beautiful.
Beautiful
Yeah.
story.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Touch
Thanks
a
for
lot
sharing
of
that.
people,
Real.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And that brings me to this other question, which is kind of broad, but just to tap into it. How is magic a part of your life? How do you weave it as a weaver? How do you weave that into and you've told us some things and I'm already getting a picture, but is there anything
Mm.
else you'd like to share on that?
Well, I mean, for just to start off, my every day I wake up, I do a lot of very strong meditating and praying, and I go into my woods. I live in the woods, basically at the edge of a cow farm. But I out there, I have my sacred space in the woods, and I open myself to connect with the elements, to connect with the spiritual things I believe in. Dragons are important to me too, because they're my power, they're my protection. They guide me. But no, nature is what helps me to do that. And I actually say, when I'm out there in nature, I ask to be a vessel, a channel, a vessel for energy, to help and bend and shape that energy to make beautiful magic, just to do that every day. That's a big part of and using my weaving, a lot of times when I'm creating a song, this is my cord right here. So I create these 9 chord knot chords, but they each have different songs that I sing into them, and I create with.
Nice.
And I use, when I'm working on a song and trying to complete it, I always go back to this and reweave it and do what I need to do to find the energy to finish the song or to come up with a new idea. And I am so blessed that every time I do that in my forest or my garden, I have a beautiful garden too, the answers come. I mean,
That
it's like, talk to me.
Yeah.
whether it's the Fae folk, my ancestors, I don't know. Everyone's talking at the same time sometimes.
Yeah.
That is excellent.
So, yeah.
Thank you
That
for
is
sharing
excellent.
that.
Yeah. And honestly, I'll tell you, I do sense or feel or even see, right? I'm sure you do see too, Rhonda, a dragon energy around her. Like even when I
Without
first saw the
question.
picture of you with it, all of it, you see that, you know. So that's awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah, you do see it. All right. So I wanted to find out about any your new release that you're doing. What can you tell us a little bit about that, please?
Yes, my new CD is called The Awakening. This has been a 3-year journey of writing my 6 songs. There's 6 songs that I wrote with the music videos. And I'm almost finished with the actual physical CD. I'm so excited. It should be done very shortly. So I have an opportunity to share it with everybody if they want it. You know, a lot of people don't have CDs anymore, but a lot of people do love to collect them. So I worked very hard to make it special. And The Awakening for me, it was very important when I became such a part of the magical community to honor our elders, to honor the pioneers of witchcraft. We take for granted so much every day of what we are able to do. You know, I mean, the witches and magical people, spiritual people have been persecuted for so many years. And I wanted to find a way to honor in every one of my songs a different elder or a different ancestor or something, so that it all comes together in that song where I have different people that I am representing in each song. So if you watch the music videos and you get the CD, you'll get a chance to experience that. And The Awakening, the last song, the title song of the album, I really brought in a lot of Doreen Valiente. She has a book that's called The Rebirth of Witchcraft.
Right.
And when I read it several times, I can't believe I'm saying that because I read that much. I love that book. She talks about there's always renaissance. There's a revival all the time, a rebirth of witchcraft every so many years. And we've had them over periods of time.
Right.
This is our time now. And I feel it because you watch social media exploding. You watch all these communities popping up everywhere, all these witches able to, practice. So
Right.
Yeah.
I find it to be a very exciting time, but I think it's important to remind people why they're able to do that. These are the people that helped us pave the way for us to be here today.
Yeah.
So that was the purpose of The Awakening, my album.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
And so when is that being released again?
My album will be launched on Starr for March.
Beautiful.
Yes,
Okay.
it'll be
Excellent.
available to buy and
Fabulous.
purchase. Yeah.
So what's your next event? What's the next event coming up for you?
Well, the big one, I'm going across the pond again.
Hey, that's fabulous.
I know. It's very exciting. With Susan Marie Paramore, she helped me to get invited to sing. I'm going to be performing and teaching at the Stonehenge Summer Solstice Festival this year in June.
Yeah.
And then we will be doing the pagan tribal gathering after that, which is in a different part of England. So both of those will be on my website. They are on my website now. Actually, you can just click on them on cruzmachine.com and you can find them. But I am going to have a chance to perform my new album and perform with Susan and have my dragon drum and get to perform with other pagan singers. It's going to be very exciting.
Right. So when is that exactly? About what dates or stuff like that's going to be in around?
Oh, the solstice is there's a time frame between like June 20th and June 22nd. I think they have it's like a 3-day event. And then the second one will be later in June. I think it's like the 24th and 25th, the Pagan Tribal Gathering. So it's right after the Stonehenge Solstice Festival.
Okay, awesome.
Fabulous.
So I'm sure you guys can all go take a look and look at it.
Absolutely. And lest we forget, where can people find your music? I'm scrolling now, your website, your blog, etc. But
yes, cruzmachine.com is my website. So if you go on there, you can click on anything and it will guide you to see my videos, to seeing up, and the different social media there, which is Cruz Machine AC. And it has all my videos and interviews on there. It's a wonderful little channel. And also my stuff is available on every social media. You could get it on Amazon, Apple, Spotify, my goodness, CD Baby, TikTok. It's everything. You know, I really put it out there for people to find it. So.
Oh, awesome. That's
Yep.
so great.
Beautiful. Thank you. Just
Yeah.
checking the chat. Hello to Debbie. Hello to Daryl. We
Yeah.
have people in here posting
Yeah.
hellos.
Thank you everyone and you know for
Appreciate
participating
all
in
of
the
you.
chat and everything like that. And they could purchase your music on Shopify or something like that, or
Yes, you can find any of the streaming places where you can purchase. You just look up, including Cruz Machine is most important. And I've kept Cruz Machine because that is the backbone. The musicians I work with, they change all the time, but they do write the music that I sing. So I honor that as well because I've worked with some very talented musicians.
awesome. Thank
Fabulous.
you.
Thank
Yeah,
you
thank
so
you.
Right.
much.
Yeah. Thank you so much for doing the show with us tonight. And we would love to have you back another time. So that is really great. All right.
Thank
And I believe now we will have a quick word from our sponsor. Thank you again,
Thank you.
Ashly Cruz, Raven.
Thank you for
Mwah.
coming out. We
Yeah.
appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Love you.
One quick word
Love
from our
you.
sponsor.
All right. Oh my goodness, we are back. All right, so we are back with the astrology time for you all. And again, I'm going to keep mentioning this. 2023 has gotten the year of the major life-changing shifts. And yes, there seems to be a running theme. So many of the shifts seems to be occurring in March. So here we go again. We have the next shift that happens after the one that's in the 7th, which is what we told you guys about the last 2 weeks. Is the Jupiter conjunct Chiron in Aries, which is on March 12th. So, and that's of course this year, March 12th, 2023. So we have a rare conjunction between Jupiter and Chiron in Aries, since they only meet each other in Aries once every 50 years on an average. This conjunction is particularly important for people born with that Chiron in Aries, but it will influence each and every one of us in whatever particular way it happens, depending on where your natal house is and wherever that transit will trigger you. It will affect people, unfortunately, or in some ways good. You know what I mean? So imagine, I want you to kind of imagine how it affects you in that way. Think of a powerful and benevolent ruler, Jupiter, the planet, right? Associated with good luck, growth, and expansion. And then you have joining forces with a wise and experienced healer, Chiron, a small planet or asteroid, however you want to associate it with, but it's great with healing and growth. And then you align additionally between, it becomes aligned 14 degrees of Aries. This means that their combined energies will create a powerful time for personal growth and extreme healing, which a lot of us at this time, and when it says extreme healing, there's a lot of things that needs healing. And we do mean not just physically, mentally, spiritually, everything else that we need right now, because right now in this world, especially in the US, there's a lot of that we need. And what's even more unique about this astrological event is that Venus will also conjunct Jupiter and Chiron. So Venus will make things all about you and very personal. So think of yourself. You can be selfish. That happens.
And it's okay. Caring for self
Yes.
is our number
Yes.
one job anyway. So
Yes.
the most potent effects of this alignment will happen at the moment of the conjunction, but the effects will still be felt in the first orb, which is from February 23rd to March 29th, and in the 8-degree orb, which is from January 22nd to April 25th, which means many of you, depending upon where your sign is, you may already be feeling its effects. This may bring to light experiences associated with feelings of rejection, alienation, of non-belonging, making many feel as if they never get noticed or are constantly being creating some feelings of animosity and or anger. But think of the conjunction as a powerful beam of light shining on your life and illuminating the areas that need attention and growth. So the orb is like that beam of light that is getting broader and less intense, but still illuminating your path. And the 8-degree orb is like the flashing light that is in the background, kind of hinting that something big is coming, something's coming. You'll be forced to break out of comfort zone, and this is important. So, and you'll be challenged to take new challenges and be adventurous. Take some adventures. Be open to learning. Moments of self-improvement, opportunities will be coming. You'll be subjected to new personal growth and development. It may have you questioning your sense of identity and self-worth, your beliefs, your values, your goals, and questioning if you can face these challenges. Of course, we'll step into that. It will also help you to heal and transform. Healing and transformation is big, so you can overcome any emotional or psychological issues that may be holding you back right now.
Okay. And I love that Rhonda mentioned about that spotlight that's happening, because this conjunction will put a spotlight on small mindedness.
Mm.
Anybody that's going through any of that, or people's, in collectives, assumptions, misinformation, insecurities. And it will remind us of each person's inherent right to exist and express ourselves as unique individuals.
Mhm.
Are allowed that right, and don't let allow anyone to take that away from you. This configuration could bring to our attention wounds and insecurities that prevent us from trusting our skills, our desires, and our instinct, and force us to begin again healing in all of those areas, to learn to become confident and be aware of who you are as that unique individual. The good thing about Chiron transits is that they come with an opportunity for you to heal deep rooted wounds and find wholeness.
Mhm.
You know how a lot of people say that when they meet people, they're like, "Oh, you're my other half, so now you've made me whole." No, no, no. This Chiron kind of transit and lets you know you are whole on your own. It will help heal all of those other outside things and put like kind of like putting you together and saying you are whole on your own. So these
Mhm.
transits usually come with a so-called healing crisis, which means that initially we can experience a worsening of symptoms. You know that old saying of, things get worse before it gets better, kind of
Yeah.
like that. Okay. So
Yeah.
if it happens and you know it's going on, you're like, okay, so that's what's doing it. It's all right. I'm okay. I'll deal with it. So you're aware of those things that will be coming. Any old wounds that might resurface, and we will again be reminded of painful experiences we haven't fully processed, which a lot of us kind of have a tendency to kind of blaze over and keep going. Some of it will come up. Okay. So this is reminding you to acknowledge some of that in whatever part that you can, and allow it to go through a healing process, because you can't move on without some of that kind of healing. Okay. It
Yeah.
also asks us to pay attention to those parts of us that we have neglected or have hid away because we thought that they are somehow unacceptable.
Mm.
So you have to be able to, in a way, to learn to accept all aspects of yourself, good, bad, or
Yeah.
indifferent. All right.
Fully
So
embrace all parts of self, and it is
yes.
recommended, highly recommended, that you these things get dealt with, because this conjunction will make you face them one way or another. So embrace the opportunity. It will also help us connect the dots and see what the bigger picture is behind these wounds, revealing the crucial role they've played in our own growth and personal development. We can restore or instill courage, strength, and trust in our instincts. There's no better time to learn to accept yourself in all your glory. So fully embrace yourself, good, bad, indifferent. It will
Yes.
help us assert our beliefs and see many perspectives of have faith in ourselves, be pioneers, take our own direction in life, and inspire others by our own example. Um, it will allow us or give us or actually encourage us to believe in our ability to face challenges and overcome the obstacles that we meet on our path. So relate to anger and how we can turn our anger into something constructive and empowering. This is the time to really take advantage and create those environments. It's a great time to set new intentions and goals for not the short term, but a longer term, about 14 years. So there's a
Awesome.
lot happening in this period.
Yeah. Yeah. A
A
lot of
lot
healing going on,
Yes,
transforming and holding on and being yourself.
digging
So it's
back.
all about being yourself.
Exactly. Embrace our shadow. So before we run too close on time, we do want to get our tarot times in this week. So hold
Yes.
on one second. Let's share
Okay.
that.
All right. So have you been shuffling?
I haven't shuffled yet, but I'm shuffling right now.
So
Um,
am I.
we're going to pull a card, and then we're going to share
Yeah.
something else.
Okay.
All
Randomly
right.
pull a card.
So
Oh wow.
pulling a card for this week,
Oh my goodness. Yes.
and
So go
considering
ahead, girl.
the conversation we've just been having about this Chiron conjunction, and the card that I have for this week is the Five of Cups. Again, I'm working with the Wiser Tarot deck, and this is the Five of Cups. Five of Cups shows this figure who looks to be quite forlorn, for lack of a better word, shrouded in black, looking at the cups in front of him that are spilled. There's a river in front of him as well, and a building in the background, and these two cups standing behind him. But what this card tends to show, people often look at this card and they say, "Oh, this is somebody who is hurt. They're mourning. They've lost something." And we're talking about Chiron and digging back into wounds and doing this wound healing, and this image here is an acknowledgement of what things that we have to look at and acknowledge, things that perhaps bring up, for lack of a better word, this is the spilled milk thing. I've lost something and I need to deal with that loss. At the same time, we recognize that there are opportunities that still exist. These two chalices behind this figure suggest that there's more. We can deal with the loss and deal with digging deep into our emotions to understand it and still move on and move past it. The notion of that flowing water tells us that we move through this, we don't sit with it. So that is part of the healing. I love, people see this card and they take this quite often as a bad image, and I personally don't. I see this as an image of saying, I'm going to challenge you and say, well, those cups are tilted away from this figure. Did this person
Right.
actually say, hey, I don't need this anymore, I have to let it go?
Yeah.
And that's another healing. That's another part of healing. So yeah, Five of Cups, that's a reasonable message for this conversation we've just had.
It's so funny as you looked at it and as you were pointing to that, I thought of a lot of people who have been suffering with PTSD or anything like that. There's a lot of them that I felt like if you kind of go through those times for yourself and allow yourself to heal with it, let it come forward, let it deal with it, let it empower it, and allow yourself to be to make it constructive and rebuild you to what you need to be. Because that's some of what I had gotten from it with it and you don't need a lot of the fallbacks that people have I think this is a part where in the PTSD or things like that, that they've gone through many trials or different things that they've tried to make themselves heal. This is a period that you're going to go through that's going to help you heal all of those deep wounds, the deep things that you've gone through mentally, physically, rebuild your strength, re-empower yourself, reconstruct yourself, that kind of a thing. So
Yes.
for a lot of you dealing with that, it's going to help with that. That's the
Beautiful.
feeling I'm getting from it. The one that I'm getting, the one that I have is the Fool. And if you look at this, he has got his head in the skies, is carrying on his back, and he's at the edge of the cliff, and even the dog is facing away from that edge of that cliff. The dog at his feet, you
Yes.
know, he's there, he is, and he's doing that. But I always think of the Fool that people think is, not paying attention and all the different things. No matter what, they travel through the entire deck. I always see them going through the entire deck, the entire lifestyle. And there's always like this angel or someone that's always there that's keeping them from falling over or misstepping, or you know what I mean, always guiding them on that path, whether or not they, even if they go to step forward and over that cliff, their feet kind of guides them back over onto that land. And this is where I think we are being taught or being said that we have guides, we have ancestors, we have all of these people that we have that we can reach out to as magical people. Learn
Yes.
to reach out to them so that they can help guide you on your path. If any
Absolutely.
of the wounds that you need to be healed, whatever, whether it's mundane or magically, reach out for those things as well. Yes, he appears as if he's never paying attention, but he's still happy and happy-go-lucky. So that means he's thinking about other things. He does have things that he is doing, and he does travel through the entire deck and comes out on the other end.
Exactly so.
Survival skills that people don't even see or realize.
He takes
So
that
you
leap
can
of
do
faith.
this too, okay? Be that person that travels through and still comes out on the other end, and you've healed yourself. A lot of it is very much you doing it yourself and taking that outside energies and everything else and going, okay, I am going to reconstruct and I am going to redo me. I am
Yes,
going to self-empower. I am going to self-heal. So
absolutely.
I've got a lot of faith in
I love
what
it.
you've got to do and accomplish. Okay,
Yep.
we'll
That
bless
fool
you
takes
guys
that
with
he takes that leap of faith. Hold on one second because we have more for you guys. Coming up,
that.
one
Right.
second.
Awesome. So we will be
So
seeing you
next,
guys all right next time. And
yes,
the next on the February 10th and 17th, we are going to be having that beautiful magical witchy world panel where we'll be discussing our first discussion would be on racism in our communities, and then trying to provide some great resources to possibly help. So that is the reason we're having it in two parts, because we have some great guests coming up. I hope you saw all of that. Invite as many people. We would love to hear your voices with it. So please do come and join us again next time. So thank you all so much.
thank you. Have a great week, everybody. See you next Friday.
Okay.